Welcome back to the Sovereign Ratio. Today we are going to talk about an extremely promising layer 1 solution that operates off of proof of work, similar to Bitcoin, and has a huge narrative and a lot of support behind it right now, and that is Kaspa. It's ran from almost under a cent to 13, 14, 15 cents, and it has been on a tear for the last few months. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave me a comment below. So what is Kaspa? Well, Kaspa is a very fast layer 1 solution that again operates off of proof of work mechanism. What makes Kaspa interesting and what makes it different from other proof of works is that when blocks are validated is not in a linear path. Whereas Bitcoin, it's moving from one block to the next block to the next block. Kaspa has a system that allows multiple branching paths that also are somewhat parallel to each other, where two blocks will be worked on at the same time and then they'll crisscross, and it's an interconnected web where things don't have to be so streamlined and move in a straight line, which gives Kaspa an increase in speed and efficiency. The overall mission of Kaspa is essentially to function like Bitcoin, but move at a much faster rate and with more advanced technology than what the original OG Satoshi version 1.1 did. One of the things that Kaspa is trying to achieve is essentially an instant first confirmation when a transaction is processed, meaning that instead of waiting for even 10, 20 seconds for the first confirmation from the validator, it's instantaneous. Another goal of the project is to be in a completely scalable layer 1 solution. And I think what brought the creators of Kaspa into the realization that this was needed was looking at something like Ethereum, where there are so many layer 2s and interconnectedness. It's like this crazy chain to make Ethereum work as a whole requires all these separate parts to come together at the same time. Kaspa doesn't require that. It's a layer 1 proof of work, it's fully scalable, and it's designed in such a way where it doesn't need all of the extra stuff to function. One could postulate that this would make gas fees on a proof of work solution much lower than something like Ethereum. Even with proof of stake migration, Ethereum gas is still insane. With Kaspa, transaction fees may not be anywhere near what that is, but still a fully scaled solution. Tokenomics are also a huge point of interest with Kaspa. One thing very important to note is that when Kaspa launched, it was in November of 2021 with no pre-mining, zero pre-sales, no coin allocations, and it's 100% decentralized, open source, and community managed, which is fantastic. It reminds me of kind of like a release of Cardano. Cardano had a similar release structure. Looking at the tokenomics in real data on CoinGecko shows that the max supply of Kaspa is 28,704,000,000 tokens, and currently 21,900,000,000 of those are in circulating supply. Kaspa is abundant with lots of liquidity on many exchanges such as MEXC, Gate.io, BitGet, BingX, KuCoin, and many others. It's readily available. The one challenge would be if you're a US customer, you would require the use of a VPN or alternative means because you cannot get it on US exchanges at the moment. If you do decide to invest in Kaspa and want to move that to cold storage, which I would highly recommend getting your coins off exchanges, the one wallet that you can essentially do that with without too much of an issue is the Tangem wallet. I would invite you to go to Tangem and check that out, but I do want to point that out. I have a Tangem wallet myself simply for Kaspa, no other purpose. It's only for Kaspa, but they are pretty affordable. They're only like $55, and I think there's another one that's $67, and you can find 10% off promo codes everywhere. They do ship from overseas, so it takes a little bit of time to get to you. Mine came in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, but that is the solution for storing Kaspa. I highly recommend that you look into that if you're going to invest in the project. Another great thing about Kaspa is it definitely does a fantastic job of keeping the community updated. On Twitter, or X, you can see there's 172.2 thousand followers, and Kaspa posts very, very frequently giving updates on the project, partnerships that they've made, technology developments. Here's a box of Tangems that I was just talking about where you can store your Kaspa, just all kinds of stuff on here. You can see that people really love Kaspa and they believe in the project. And quite frankly, because it has not seen a bull run yet, I do think that this is going to have a very, very good bull run. And even if you don't believe in the project long term, I think this time it's going to give you some fantastic gains. Probably in mid to late 2025 is when that'll top out. And as I always do on this channel, we're going to do a little TA. Being that this is the MEXC chart and Kaspa does not have a very long stream of historical data because it is a relatively newer project, it is a little bit more difficult for TA because our indicators down here are not quite as developed. So we can look at the daily chart here. You can kind of get a feel for what's going on. You can see that back here in October of 2022, when Kaspa started trading on MEXC, it was 0.001 cents. You're reading that correctly, 0.001 cents. And it has gone up all the way to 15.5 cents, which is an astronomical gain of 116x just in the last year and 2 months. You can see that most of that movement came recently, starting around 5 cents and going all the way up to 15 cents. Looking at this movement here, if I was to pick a place to really get into Kaspa on a retracement, I would say probably either the 0.5 of this movement here at 9.8 cents or the 61865 golden pocket here between 8 and 8.5 cents. Technically, if Bitcoin were to take a huge nosedive, you could see Kaspa come down here and probably find support at the 4.4 cent area. And below that, you could find support around the 3 cent area, but I would not expect Kaspa to ever go below 3 cents ever again. Just my 2 cents. As far as targets for Kaspa, really the only thing that I can do for you to give you a target on that would be to, first of all, get rid of my indicators because they're not going to matter in this situation. What I like to do is pretend that if it was around in the bull run, what is a 99%, like here's about a 99% drop, right? So Kaspa could have been in the 70, 75 cent range if it had been in a previous bull run. This is obviously purely speculation, but if we just do a reverse fib here or a fib extension, whatever you want to call it, from around the 75 cent area, pull it all the way to the bottom and look for the 1618, you can see Kaspa at $1.20. If it really tears, you can see it around the $2 mark. Personally, because it is a newer token, I would be looking around the $2 mark, which is a 15x. That might seem crazy, and it is a higher cap coin, so it may not go there, but I definitely could see something around the $1 to $1.25 area, which is a nice little 10x there. So in case you're wondering, I am allocating 4.38%, just like Tau. We did a Tau video the other day to look at bittensor and that project. I'm allocating the same amount of capital to Kaspa as I am bittensor, 4.38%. And I'm looking in that 8 to 8.5 cent range to pick more up. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave me a comment below. Hope you learned about Kaspa. I appreciate every single one of you coming by. Please follow me on Twitter. Please follow me on Instagram. We will see you in the next video. Safe trading.